Good morning. It is Saturday, November 15th, 9 a.m. I'm out for a little morning walk to get a cup of coffee somewhere. I haven't exactly decided where to get it yet, but we'll just pick one of the many spots that I have around the neighborhood. Man, it's a beautiful morning. It actually couldn't have been a better morning, as the sun is shining super bright. So bright that you actually need your sunglasses. Now they also have a functional use and not just a stylish use, those sunglasses. One of the primary things I need to be doing today is packing for my trip to Lisbon tomorrow. So my flight leaves at 6 a.m. So I probably need to wake up at 3 a.m. and then just head off to the airport straight away to at least be there around 2 hours before. But fortunately Copenhagen isn't the biggest city in the world, so it's quite easy to get to the airport when you live in Copenhagen due to the metro. So that's not going to be a problem. I just need to make sure that I have enough clothing packed, and also need to look into what type of clothes, because I have zero clue about the temperature of Lisbon at the moment, so that's something that I would have to look up as well. But once I've packed, then we have dinner with my girlfriend's cousin and the boyfriend of her cousin, two really good friends, so that's gonna be nice. And then head home early so that I can go to bed early as well. So yeah, those are the plans so far. And since I'll be leading a group of co-workers on this tour to Lisbon, there's of course part of me that worries or is a bit nervous about, whether I've planned everything correctly, whether the group thinks that the activities are fun. I tried not to pack too many activities into the schedule. I tried to really make time for them to also be able to walk around and explore Lisbon on their own. But there's always this insecurity or this doubt on whether I've done a good enough job planning the tour. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. I think they're just happy to be going on a trip to Lisbon. And that's an important thing to remember, that most of these doubts or worries, they won't happen. It's all in your head. It's all your mind just fabricating different scenarios. That's something that I've learned through experience, I'd say. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure everybody's just happy to be hopping on an airplane and then heading over to Portugal for a week. Oh yeah, Benedictus, my girlfriend's dad, is also coming over for brunch in around an hour. So it's gonna be a short walk. And then I'll be heading home, having brunch with him, and then they'll be doing something together while I've got some alone time to get ready for Lisbon. A lot of people have also told me that we'll be in Lisbon during the time of the year with the most rain, and I've been checking out the weather forecast for the past couple of days, and it does look like that it's raining quite a lot, but I think we are super lucky that the week will be there. There'll be almost no rain except for the first day. So that's gonna be super nice. And I hope that still stays true when we actually get there, because as you know, the weather report is probably not the most true to life thing in the world. But yeah, we'll see. Either way, as you've learned in my previous videos, There's nothing called bad weather. It's just about wearing the appropriate clothing. And I'm sure that Lisbon during the rain is still a nice and beautiful town. One of the things that I'm really excited for is that tuk-tuk tour that I've planned for the group on Tuesday, where right after breakfast a couple of tuk-tuks or rickshaws are going to pick us up and then drive us around a few different viewpoints of Lisbon, and apparently some beautiful viewpoints. That's going to be really nice. So I'm excited to see what that tour is going to be like. So this place is Assistens Kirkegård, and it's actually do you call it a graveyard? You know, where you bury dead people? I think it's called a graveyard. And this is where the famous poet Hans Christian Andersen is buried. And it's just a nice place to just, you know, take a walk or just to run through. And it's really beautiful all times of the year, during winter, during fall, during summer, during spring. It's nice and quiet in here. But yeah, take a look at how beautiful this place is. You got so many of these public areas in the city that you can just enjoy. So I think when I get to the end of this path right here, then I'll see if I can find the grave of Hans Christian Andersen, and I can show you that really quickly. And then we'll slowly head home and then stop by a coffee spot on the way. I think I'll just do my the one right around the block. But yeah, we'll see. We'll take it minute by minute today. So we should be fairly close. I just walked past a sign with the name Hans Christian Andersen, and it was pointing in this direction. Let's see. It should be here somewhere. Ah, there we go. A beautiful tombstone. So there it is. The poet Hans Christian Andersen, April 2nd, born April 2nd, 1805, and then died the 4th of August, 1875. So he turned 70 years old. But it's super, super well kept. I also think that they put in efforts to clean it. But yeah, that's it. Now it is time to head home. And I've decided that we're just going to take almost the same route back through this main path in the graveyard. I need to find out if graveyard is the right word. There's part of me that feels like it's not. Cemetery, of course, cemetery. That's the word that I was looking for. It's a cemetery, and the name of the cemetery is actually the Assistens Cemetery, or the Cemetery of the Assistant. I need to look up what the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery is. I'm actually not entirely sure. Let's actually answer this question right away. What's the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery?
So the difference is actually a bit subtle. Traditionally, a graveyard is often associated with being part of a churchyard or directly connected to a church.
Okay.
Cemeteries, on the other hand, are more modern and usually stand alone, not tied to a specific church. So, in short, a graveyard is typically church-affiliated, while a cemetery is more of a general burial ground.
All right, that makes sense. And Assistens Kirkegård in Nørrebro in Copenhagen, what would that be considered, a cemetery or a graveyard?
Det vil faktisk blive betragtet som en kirkegård, fordi Assistens Kirkegård jo netop har historisk tilknytning til kirken, og oprindeligt var en kirkegård. Så selvom den i dag også er en park og en kulturel plads, er det teknisk set en kirkegård frem for en egentlig cemetery.
Okay, so that means that it's a graveyard?
Exactly, you got it. In that context, Assistens Kirkegård would be considered a graveyard, since it originally was linked to the church.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a little nuanced, but that's the depth. So, in short, you're spot on.
So, it sounds like I actually was correct. It is a graveyard. But I guess it's almost the same thing. So, a graveyard is apparently when it's connected to a church, and a cemetery is when it's not connected to a church. And yeah, I got a little bit of help from ChatGPT here. I think it's so nice with ChatGPT voice that you can just have an actual conversation. Yeah, we live in this crazy day and age where we can just have almost any one of our questions answered almost instantly. It's quite crazy. There's just so much information out there. So much. The difficult part is figuring out what information do you actually need. And that's why there are so many people out there that have businesses around catering information, and I actually think that makes a lot of sense, because it can be super hard to figure out, what should I apply to my life. So yeah, but it's still cool that you can just pull up your phone, open ChatGPT voice, and then have a conversation. And it was also funny that I started that conversation in English, and then it transitioned to Danish when I was saying the name of the cemetery in Danish. Then it transitioned to Danish, but then it transitioned back to English when I was asking an English question. I thought that was quite smart as well. Alrighty, so we're almost home, and I actually think I'm gonna skip the coffee and just get something at home instead, since I'm this close anyways. Now we'll head home, get a cup, and then in 25 minutes my girlfriend's dad should be here. We'll eat brunch with him, and then I can slowly start the process of getting ready for Lisbon, and I'll of course take you with me on that process. Alright, cool guys, see you later. Alrighty, so my girlfriend asked me if I could help her out with just watching the food while she heads down with some laundry, with one round of laundry. We got some bacon here, we got some bread, soaked in egg. We'll put some syrup on top of. So yeah, a nice simple brunch. Oh, and that's the air fryer. Ooh, nice. All right. I was just watching this YouTube video on my iPad over there about this guy that talks about why you should continue making videos even though you have low views. obviously I think it makes sense. You know, everybody starts somewhere, right? But yeah, you get really humbled when you spend a lot of time making a video and then, you know, 2 people sees that video. But again, I think that's just part of it, right? I do this for myself. I do it so that I'm able to. Let me just put this here. I do it so that I'm able to, in a year, look back at the videos that I did now, and then in 2 years look back at the videos that I did now. I think it's such an awesome thing to be able to kind of see what your thoughts were like a few months ago, a few years ago, even a few days ago, right? Alrighty, I am all done and packed up for my 7-day trip to Lisbon. That's a lie. I need one more thing, and that's one more of these half-zip merino wool sweaters that I've grown to like a lot. But yeah, we're bringing this small luggage that I can, suitcase that I can bring into the cabin. And then I've got this personal item in form of my bag as well. So yeah, it's a bit exaggerated, but let's see if they will accept this. It might be a bit heavier, but we'll see. Yeah, a bit heavier than what the airlines allow, but let's see. All right, we are on the bike, ready to head into the center. You can definitely tell that the temperatures have dropped. It is cold. It's cold, but absolutely beautiful out. So many people are out for a walk at the moment. It's so nice. I think I'm gonna head over to the Echo store as well, which is a Danish shoe brand. Alright, so we are in Copenhagen city center. We're super close to the Echo store, so I'm gonna check out that first, look at the pair of shoes that I've been eyeing, and then we'll head over to Uniqlo afterwards. Cool. There's a really good Argentinian empanada place right around here, to my right side actually. But since I've already eaten a big brunch, I'm gonna skip that today. Alrighty, so after a hectic stroll at the high street here in Copenhagen, got myself a new pair of Echo shoes and then a merino wool half-zip sweater. So, got what I needed. Now it's time to bike home. Man, it's crowded in the city. What else would you expect on a Saturday afternoon? So, totally makes sense. All right, now it's time to get out of the city center. I enjoy coming into the city center, but I also enjoy getting out of it again. I like that I live so close to it that I can get in there in like 8 minutes. But also the fact that I can get home in 8 minutes to a more quiet place. Woo. Alrighty, so yeah, 8 minutes, something like that, and then we are back home. My girlfriend called me and asked me if I wanted some cake. I of course said yes. So now I'm gonna come home to a dessert. I have a hard time resisting sweets, even though I should. But man, nothing better than a good dessert. I mean, there's plenty of things better than that, but it's definitely one of the awesome things. Alright guys, I'll do an update whenever I come home, which is going to be very soon. So yeah, see you in a bit. Alrighty, so now I've finished packing, and I'm just going to be editing the video from today for a few minutes, and then in around 40 minutes we got to head over to my girlfriend's cousin and the boyfriend of the cousin, where we're going to eat dinner, and then I'm going to head straight home after that, since I need to wake up at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. So alright guys, it is 8:40 and we just had some delicious dinner at my girlfriend's cousin and the boyfriend of the cousin. Amazing pasta dish. Now we're back home. I'm sitting here doing some final edits and then watching or about to watch at least part of the Denmark versus Belarus World Cup qualifying game. Cool, man. That's going to be the last update for this evening. I will see you guys very early tomorrow. See you.